Need to pull up my actual Twitch chat so I can see it.
I mean, like, I had fun. I played with my kids today.
That's cool.
But like, we don't actually play Crisis Protocol. We just like roll dice and push models around the board.
That's fair.
It's fun though. Everybody enjoyed themselves, even Mom.
Live. 47. What are we calling this? Hashtag the side piece.
Yeah, like balancing a second game, you know, balancing, or if like Crisis Protocol is your second game, like what do you
call it? Gaming is like a tightrope.
The day the music died, like
that is talk about doomsaying, Jesus. Let's call it American Pie. How about that? That way, people who get the joke will get it, and then
there you go.
Okay.
Like,
and it's also 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, American Pie.
American Pie. It's a double meaning going on. All right, coffee time.
Let's get some stuff set up. Some stuff set up.
Ben, Jesus is pretty great.
What's that?
Ben says Jesus is pretty great.
Well, I mean, it's Jesus's day, right? Like that's.
Oh, it's Sunday. I was like, what? 4th of July is America. In my humble opinion.
There's a.
You have the humblest of opinions. Ben never has a hot take. He just has humble takes.
Humble takes. Are they like humble brags?
No, because bragging is bad.
Oh. Oh.
Not really. I guess I do that a lot. You love to see it.
I like our spread of characters.
You like the spread?
Like we have like all the most egregious pieces in the game.
I know, right?
Like...
That's yeah. Hulk, Mal. I need to put Red Skull on there.
Hanging out. Yeah, we should.
Get Logan on there too.
Yeah, Logan, Red Skull.
Let's just go ahead and drop Doctor Strange for Logan.
No.
You gotta keep him.
Sorcerers. I've contended for a very long time that if they ever did come out with like a terrible, nasty nerf to Thanos, this is a little while ago. This is pre-Malekith, but like if you pulled Thanos down a peg or somehow like adjusted him, I think that Doctor Strange would have, at least at that time, been the next most unfun piece in the game.
Ben wants to know if we can get Mags in there for him. I could put Mags on there for you.
Maybe.
I'll just put
would it be for you or would it be for Johnny Pastrami?
Ooh, shots fired.
Sorry,
Ben's just over here like, where's Cad? I'm gonna go take Cad and hunt you down.
What's a little jibing between friends, right? That's a.
That was jibbing.
That's a jab, a jib,
yeah.
Shot off the bow.
Jib jab. Man, you remember Jib Jab?
Yeah, that's like the thing where they put the faces on, right?
Yeah, like the whole political satire
dances.
stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what friends are for. All right, you ready to do this?
Let's do it, Ben.
All right, let's do it, Ben. Hitting the button.
All right.
Boop, 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 boop.
Perfectly balanced.
There's no intro play.
Maximum effort. In this war, there's no surrender.
Oh. I did that. There it is.
Perfectly balanced. As all things should be.
Maximum effort. In this war, there's no surrender. He's out of line, but he's right. Who the hell is Bucky? You don't like a fair fight. I think you're wrong. Which part? All of it.
Think you're the only superhero in the world?
Touché.
Welcome to the Rogue Agents podcast, where we are some boomer MCP players.
Been around this block. I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. I can't speak for you, but my shoes are pretty tight these days.
You're not wrong. Thank you all for coming in and listening, and we are happy to have you. Some big announcements. First of all,
Desert and I are both really badly burned.
Yeah, that's actually a fact. I've been working on the RV, and it was so hot today. How hot was it for you? I know if it's hot for me, it's hotter for you.
It was like mid-90s today.
Oh, okay.
It
was hotter up here. It was hot today.
Woo-wee.
Yeah. And trying to finish the last few bits on the RV. And it was so hot that I was like, I made the terrible mistake of, like when you're working outside and it's hot and you're not like the most fit guy out there, but like you don't like the way a sweat drenched shirt feels, so you work with your shirt off. That was the mistake I made today. I was like, this will be fine. I haven't been burnt yet working on this RV, and I've finally figured out that like from t-shirt down of my arm, it's just immune to being burned now from my time in the military. But like everything else is burned instantly. Like the top of my head's got a little red. My neck's got nice red going on. My whole back is just bright red. It's miserable. Aloe vera feels good. Feels good. Sam, why are you so red?
Oh, we spent 3 hours at the pool today.
At the pool.
Family pool event.
Was it fun though?
Oh, we had a blast. I didn't realize it had been like 2 hours until like I looked down and I was like, wow, we've been here a long time. I had to sunblock up like 4 times and it still didn't matter.
Yeah. I love the sun. It's great.
Nice.
Big announcement for patrons and anybody who is interested. We have lowered all of our tiers down to the $1 because Sam and I are terrible at managing Patreon, and we are very deeply sorry for like how bad we managed it. We definitely overpromised and underdelivered, and we have learned our mistakes. And for now, until we can like actually figure out what we can actually do with it at a reasonable pace, we're just gonna make it $1. If you want to support us at the show, feel free to do so. I will also say I changed it before the 1st, so if you are currently a patron and you had more than $1, you should not be getting like the normal donation you put in. With that being said, if you are for some reason, just let me know and I'll go back and I'll refund you and do all that because I want to make sure that nobody's not getting stuff. Sam and I just had a conversation where it's like we kind of felt bad because like we've been trying to get it. We're like, yeah, we gotta make sure we do this, and then like 3 weeks go by. It's like, did we do that? No. So again, we are truly deeply sorry for overpromising and under-delivering. But I guess that's just the Rogue Agents fashion.
Taking a lot of personal accountability here. I feel like we could just throw Hyper Viper under the bus for this. But like he was supposed to manage the Patreon.
Yeah,
he hasn't been able to be around as much.
He won't listen to this. Just everybody just at Hyper Viper and don't say anything. Just at him.
I wouldn't take it that far, but
no, it'd be funny though. I kind of want to see if people like just at Hyper Viper and like no context at all. Like don't put any words just to see if he what he does.
Oof.
It'd be funny. It's my little joke for the week or 2 weeks rather. On top of that, again, don't forget we are now bi-weekly, semi-weekly. It always confuses me. Like the
every other week.
Every other week, it just used to say. We are every other week now, bringing you the juiciest content that we can find, which, to be completely honest, Sam and I are kind of in a
rut?
For finding content to talk about. So I guess that's kind of like what's left us talking about our feelings with the game a couple times. Today, we might dive into a little bit of that. Actually, we are going to dive into a little bit of that because we want to kind of relate to these slots. And I guess this will probably be the last one for a while that we talk about this type of stuff. Because I think we finally figured out our why. Coming back to the last episode. Our why we're feeling like this. And we're going to hopefully dive into that a little bit. And Ben, you're a gentleman. Need special guests like that Ben guy. He's baller. I agree. So we're gonna go
Probably
into that a
shouldn't.
little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and get on with the show and have a wonderful time as always. And again, thank you for listening. So Sam, what are you drinking? What's your hot take or cold drink hot take?
Uppercuts and laser tag from Dissolver, which is a oh, look at that.
It's the shirt you're wearing.
Oops. Shirt I'm wearing. This is a brewery that's about an hour away from me, so it's kind of a special treat to go to. I have a pretty funny story about it that I don't feel like sharing, but maybe sometime I will. But it's a fun little semi-local brewery for me, and I am a huge sucker for their marketing because it all looks like this. Pretty creepy stuff. Love it.
Illuminati.
Illuminati tentacles. I'm like, yep, I'm in.
Just we're saying, get him on that train. Oh man. For me, I have 16 Point Imperial by the Devil's Backbone, which is also a local place. I think it's
Nice.
Yeah.
Support your
Lexington,
local
so
game stores.
Western-
Support your local breweries.
I also just
Right,
love
right.
this, like, God, what is that band? I am drawing a blank now. God, what are they?
Daft
They're the
Punk?
guys- Yeah, Daft Punk.
Daft Punk.
It just reminds me of Daft Punk, so I like it. So it makes me crack up. So, what have you been playing, painting, or doing?
Well, let's see. I finally got my Shatterpoint strike team painted or primed.
Oh, I thought you said painting. I was like, wow, where are the pictures for that one?
Yeah, I haven't. So I did not pick up the Gwen and Squirrel Girl pack for no real reason. I just like I wasn't playing anything that I wanted to slot them in, and AMG has been so considerate to not make me buy packs now for things like crises or generic tactics cards. I just
Right.
didn't feel like picking them up, so I didn't. I got to play into Squirrel Girl, and I've been pretty impressed with what she lays out. But
I'm actually
still don't
really
feel like
curious
running
because
her.
I have not played against or with Squirrel Girl. So like what was her impact on the game?
She's got Cheap Spender that has automatic conditions on it. I believe Bleed and Slow, which is like maybe not Bleed and Slow, but it Bleed and Stun. That's what it is. Wow, terrible. That's a really rough feeling when you just like walk into range 3 or something, and all of a sudden you're bleeding and stunned. Not my favorite feeling. And the rerolls, she's got rerolls on basically wherever she wants them on offense or defense with just a little bit of support. So she's got good tools, which I found pretty interesting. But still don't really feel like picking her up.
For a second there, I thought you froze. I was like, oh god, already. Oh man.
I think that that's like, well, I mean, like, what's your why, right? Like, why? What are you playing Crisis Protocol for? And I don't have any problem with Squirrel Girl. I've read some of those comic books. I got a good chuckle at some of them. And I mean, whatever happened with her and Thanos is a lie, for sure.
It
Absolutely.
was alternate universe. It doesn't really happen.
See, stuff.
It's not main.
Obviously.
It's not main Marvel canon.
That's right. It's just sidelight. So maybe that's why. But I don't know. Her and Gwenpool, it's like, those are fun characters, and if you're into it, those characters are really good. So I think I'll have a good experience.
Yeah.
But
I was debating on Gwenpool because I was trying to think if she would switch out for Logan in my list, and I ultimately came
in
down
your
to
X-Force
no.
list?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a
Well,
bold-
Logan's not affiliated either, so it's kind of like
I know, but
like the
he's
whole thought
Logan.
process behind it was breeding her
The
card
Wolverine.
can really kind of give you the flexibility of where you're not locked into a card if it doesn't pan out. Since
True.
X-Force cards, you're really playing cards that are like more situational, that are generic. So it's very
You have
much
Psylocke.
like, yeah, unless you're playing Psylocke, then that one's just locked. Hyperbolic takes is what I'm here for. Anyways,
hyperbaric takes.
hyperbaric. I do think though that like I think they're an interesting pack. But like to be completely honest, I haven't bought.
Fireworks going off in my neighborhood.
Uh,
Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody.
Happy
America.
4th of July. That's a good point. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. Granted, it's the second here right now, but it's the weekend, and the 4th of July is on a Tuesday, which seems very non-American. Like, why didn't they just... the American thing to do would have been to just change the calendar and say the 4th is now on Saturday.
But then we wouldn't get any days off for it. So I guess one's better than nothing.
I mean, I would get 4 days off
I'll
regardless,
take it.
but...
Well, if you have the means, right?
Yeah, you have the means. But yeah, I haven't bought anything for MCP since Emma and Psylocke just because it doesn't really fit what I'm playing. And I very much have come to like ever since Crisis cards and certain tactics cards, because AMG's very much gone down the road of tactics cards that they put out in boxes are very, very, very much like you're probably playing that character that the box comes with for the tactics cards, or that box ties into an affiliation that the tactics cards go with that you want already. So it's going to be something that you want. Yeah. And I do greatly appreciate it, and my wallet greatly appreciates it, because I'm not just buying boxes of miniatures that are just going to sit in a display case once they're painted. I'd rather have miniatures that I'm going to play with. Yeah, that's basically what I have to say about that. So it kind of sucks that I haven't really bought anything new for Marvel Crisis Protocol since Emma and Psylocke, but it also feels good at the same time. I don't feel like I'm just wasting money. I
did buy a lot of Crisis Protocol pieces that have turned into display pieces for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Either like I wanted to play with them, or I didn't, or I needed that.
90% of my case is stuff I don't play with anymore, including Malekith.
But you could, right? And
I could.
That's part of the fun is knowing what you could do.
But it's like I think I'm at the point though with like where my purchases are, where it's very much like if I'm buying something, it's because A, it's gonna fit in a list that I want to play, or B, I really, really like the sculpt. Or I really, really like that character. That's kind of where I'm at with MCP, and I kind of just like think it's the mindset that people should have. And I'm also like with Shatterpoint, I'm doing the same thing with Shatterpoint, where it's like I'm only gonna buy what I either want to play or I'm really invested in that character. So there's that. Let's see, me painting and playing. I got my one game of X-Force in for the week. That's kind of like where I'm doing. I'm just making sure I get at least one game in. I've just been way too busy with the RP, and as long as I'm getting one game in a week, I feel like I'm not losing too much of what I'm doing. Still planning on repping X-Force at Nova. Still want to show up and like actually play good games, and don't want to just like completely shirk everything off. So that's my plan. I'm still meeting my goal of one X-Force a week. I'd like to get more in, but again, I'm just so busy with the RV. It went well, it's just, and that kind of comes into what we're gonna be talking about today. It felt like the same game.
I'm waiting for Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm excited for Cosmic Ghost Rider.
I think he'll be.
I like the character. Yeah. I like the cut of his jib, as far as the kid on that card goes. And the character's fun. Plus, it's fun to just like YOLO and give up on the objective game.
Are you giving up on the objective game though? Because he can just move everybody off of objectives. Tell people my tech. What you be telling people? And let's see. Other than that, I didn't think I painted anything over the last weeks. I didn't. Yeah, I don't think I've been. I painted an RV. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of work there.
That's a lot of paint. It came out pretty good. I'm actually gonna. Your turn to talk, Sam.
It's my turn to talk. Well, I haven't painted an MCP figure in a little while because I haven't been super interested in the newer releases. But I'm not fully painted, and every now and then I look over and I see my Arnim Zola and my Ulik and then my unfinished Bill, and I'm like, I should probably get around to those. But again, not hugely motivated to put any of those pieces on the table except for Bill. And I don't know, that was one where it's like, you ever do something on a piece and you're like, I'm really proud of how this part of this piece looks, and it's almost like you did it too well and now you have to paint the rest of the mini to that standard. That's how I feel about my Bill's cape. The cape is looking tight, but the rest of it I'm like clueless on how to do it.
Okay, you know what, I Strange, when I painted Strange, I felt I did a great job on the model, and then I was like, I gotta do something cool with these rings, and then I just absolutely fucked up the rings. Like I spent so long on those rings, and they did not look very good. And
I tried to
got
start
the
glazing
point-
his shoulder pads, and it had
Yeah,
the same
I-
result. I was just like,
I-
"Oh, this is terrible! I can't do it."
I just got to the point where I was like, I just need to stop, and this is just gonna look. And I'll just put like a piece of paper in front of my strange, so that way like you can see like, oh man, that looks really nice. Those blues, man, that looks sick.
Yeah.
How about the rings? Oh god.
Oh, what rings? What
Yeah,
are the
I'll
rings?
Just cut them, I'll just cut them off. I should have bought those transparent rings that were acrylic.
Replacement rings.
But yeah, let's see. Other than that, it's just been really working on the RV. I think we're trying to move into it in like the next couple of weeks, so it's really been busting our ass trying to get that done.
That's great.
Getting sunburn today, all that type of stuff.
That's why you do it.
That's why we do it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our topic today. And Sam brought up something. He messaged me randomly this last week, and I kind of would like you. Should I read it or should you read it?
So
private eyes only.
I mean, I don't mind the terms that I used it in, but they are younger viewers or people who, for some strange reason, listen to this podcast while hanging out with their children. Maybe this is not the best episode for the family to tune into.
That's fair.
But I
Good
basically
warning.
feel like I am, because I know why you guys tune in, right? It's to hear about my personal journey. So here we go. Here's my personal journey and where I'm at with Crisis Protocol right now. With the caveat that, number one, Dizzard and I correctly identified a couple weeks back that we are the boomers of MCP.
That's like a month.
Nothing about that has changed. The game is great. It's actually in a really healthy place. If you're having fun, please continue to have fun. If you are new to this game, then hopefully you can, and you're tuning into us for real content. Sorry. But also, maybe you can relate to this from another game. Because if you've come into Crisis Protocol from another game, like, maybe you're a Games Workshop evacuee and you're like, I just hate the new 40K. I got these MCP pieces. Let's go have some fun over there.
I also think something worth noting is like if you listen to this and you have thoughts and want to like contribute to the conversation with this, feel free to talk on the Discord and like maybe you can pull us out of us, for lack of better terms, funk.
Yeah, get me out of the funk.
But yeah,
The
let's
story-
I want you to read it because it made me laugh, and I think, to be completely honest, from like reading conversations on the internet and Discord and all this stuff,
I mean, that's
it
part of our
very
MO
much-
at this point.
It very much fits. Like what you said fits a lot of thoughts I have seen for MCP. So let's hear it, Sam, from the horse's mouth. You're not a horse,
right,
Sam.
give me-
That's just an expression.
All right. So this is what I said. I don't have anywhere else to put this, so I think I'm going to put it here. I feel like I'm in a bed-dead relationship with MCP. Like, we can chat. It's fine. There just isn't any spark. Nothing gets me going. Nothing I do gets MCP going. Nothing MCP does gets me going. But we're still married, right? Everybody knows that we're married. And I feel like I'm having an emotional affair with Shatterpoint. Shatterpoint gets me that electric feeling. But we're not committed, and we're not physical either. And it's just this feeling that I have hanging out with Shatterpoint, and then I'm playing other games with my local guys because it turns out that like I have more fun playing with my friends than I have playing a specific game, and so like that's where a lot of my hobby energy is being spent. And that's where, like, you just play the games that your friends play, right? Like, this is the social lubricant to, like, get you going and having fun. And so, like, I'm basically having a physical affair with my IRL friends playing one game. I'm having an emotional affair with Shatterpoint, like, just really enjoying this brand new game and how engaging it is and how, we're just not, we're not hooking up yet. And then I've got MCP, and I'm married to MCP, and everybody knows I'm married to MCP. So that's where I'm at with MCP right now. I love it still, right? That's another part. Is it like I still love it? It's just not like getting me going.
I forgot what. Because
It's still a two-way street, Ben. It's got to be consensual, right? It's not about.
let's see. Where was that? How long ago was that? That was forever ago.
Where-
Jesus.
What are you looking at?
I was trying to find it.
29th.
Was it in cast chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
629 cast chat.
I guess it wasn't that long ago. It's right here.
No, it's like Friday.
But I guess
So long ago.
Instead of spending so much time trying to figure out where this was, I think my biggest. I come back and I'm like, wow, I kind of relate to what Sam was saying, because it's like, I feel my biggest with MCP at the moment is very much just, I feel like every game I play is literally the same game. I don't really know why, because you think like with the crisis mix up, some shakedowns and stuff like that, like it'd be different. But I feel like every game of MCP that I play has been, I move here and do this, 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 and it's very much become a game for me, very much become a game of who's gonna make the first mistake and not follow suit with the pattern.
It's unforced errors, right? So it's
Yeah.
like dice failures. It's personal, like, you know. So the game of MCP that I played last week, I had a good time. Like, I had no reason not to enjoy it, right? I played Sorcerer Supreme Strange. I played Convocation, which is like one of my favorite affiliations to play. It's so dynamic on the table. You have like one of the most busted pieces in the game in Dr. Voodoo, and then you also have Supreme Strange, who's just amazing. And the game was fun, but at the end of the day, like, really what happened is that Voodoo put the game on its back and was just a really, really, really good piece that I was able to heal up on Extremis with, and with Wong heals and things like that. And so he was just not really in any danger even when he was. And it was an old play pattern. So like, one thing we started off the show with was like, I didn't buy the last like 2 waves. You didn't buy the last 2 waves, and this is where we are, right? So like, maybe we're bringing some of this on ourselves by not being that engaged by the current releases.
Ben says I'm switching up to Asgard to get a new feel going.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we doomed ourselves by this year saying I'm gonna stick to this.
Right, I'm gonna focus.
Yeah. But I tried that. Like, I tried playing Midnight Suns, Malekith. I played a little bit of X-Men. Played Brotherhood. I played Midnight Suns again. Like stuff that like interested me. And then like, as soon as I got back on the X-Force train, I was very much just like, wow, this is why I'm playing this game. Like, I want to play X-Force. Like, X-Force is like where I have the most fun, whether I'm winning or losing. And I still truly feel that way. I still enjoy playing my X-Force games, but I do feel like when I play, I very much get into that this is the same game that I played last week. It's just a different person piloting the other side. And I don't necessarily think that this comes from the whole big 3 conversation of like Hulk, Malekith, Thanos. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
We didn't play with any of those. Like the last like 3 games of Crisis Protocol that I played, those haven't been anywhere near the table.
And I really don't know where this feeling comes. It might just be because we are playing different games, and those games are more. They're just different.
There's stuff to figure out. I mean, like figuring out a game is one of the like the biggest draws for me to it. Like trying to wrap my head around the rules, understand like what good strategy looks like, what makes a good piece, what makes a mediocre piece.
Yeah. But I think to like turn this around to like relate with everybody, and it kind of comes back to like the whole "why are you playing this game" type of thing. Like, and I think Sam and I have kind of I don't want to speak for Sam, but we also talked offline about this a little bit, and that's like we both have kind of come to the realization that like MCP really is a kitchen table game for us now. It's like we have fun, for now, Nova, you better believe that we're gonna bring our A game, and Team Making a Ruckus is gonna make a ruckus. But that's why we're playing the game, and that's to play with our friends. to.
And maybe that's okay. What if it's okay to like take a step back, think
Do you
about things
think?
from a different way?
Do you think we got too competitive with MCP?
Maybe. I mean, I tend to be like an oscillating fan when it comes to competitive and
Yeah, that's
casual,
true.
where it's like I'm like, I'm super competitive. Oh, I just want to play like all as Guardians and maybe something else. Just all the busted stuff in a list. So I tend to go back and forth pretty severely on that. And maybe we did. Maybe it was too heavy of a push. And not just like, not just us. Not just us in the past year. Not
Yeah.
just like, everything. I mean, if anything, we were a part of a group of people that were definitely pushing the boundaries or trying to actively push the boundaries for like what this game could sustain. And I don't want to say that we found it, but I mean, 2 waves of errata. Maybe we found a few things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I went and I played Asgard for a couple weeks, and I definitely felt the same Z's. Right? It felt almost like nothing had changed since I played that at NashCon last year, and I was like, wow, like I'm doing all the same things. Nothing is any more or less figured out so far as this is concerned. It's just you're just playing the game a certain way, and it does come down to a lot of matchups and a fair amount of dice and. It's a fun game. You get to do cool stuff, but at the end of the day, it's definitely feels like more of a kitchen table game to me right now.
Yeah, I think the key
That's
word of this
fine.
is like right now, and I also want to say like we're not going anywhere. We're still gonna be here to talk about the game. We're still gonna be playing the game. It's just I think we have a lot of almost pent up feelings because we've invested a lot of time into this game and invested a lot of money, time, family time, a lot of that, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
hobby. It's like
uh,
when your hobby time is limited and you soak
Yeah.
it all into one sponge. Like at some point that sponge is full, and that's okay.
So I guess we're using this platform to almost voice our internal thoughts and monologues when it comes to like this topic. But I do want to say like we're not going anywhere. We're still going to be doing podcasts every other week. We're still going to be playing the game when we can, and we are, by golly, I'm going to be trying to win Nova with X Force.
I mean, yeah, like Ghost Rider comes out in like 2 weeks, so I'm sure I'll have something. 'Cause some of it is just like, when you just don't have. I can't proxy. I've talked about this briefly in other episodes, but like I have a really hard time proxying. It's just like what is that?
Yeah.
I get the old rules for the piece that I'm, using the proxy on the table stuck in my head, and then I make mistakes. And
I also
do the
think
stuff I
something
want
worth
to.
of note though is like we looked internally to find our issue instead of looking
Yeah.
at the game and blaming the game or blaming characters. I think we've also gone on the record and off record and said that yeah, these characters can be troublesome, but like maybe a lot of it is like just internal feelings. And like I'm not saying those characters are absolutely fine because I do think that they are a little over the top. But
Speaking of characters, that that "Show Me on the Doll Where Sam Wilson Hurt You" article. I don't know who the anonymous source of that entire website is, but my kudos to you. That is
It's a good
the
read.
most amazing,
It's a good
scholarly written article. Like I've written and read scholarly things like that before, and anything that has half a page of footnotes on every page has a special place in my heart. And kudos for you for doing that on something you had absolutely no reason to do that on. Like you had no reason to annotate your write-ups so succinctly and extremely, but kudos to you. Wasn't us. We didn't do that show.
wasn't us. But I do think though that to bring some content into this episode, I really do think though that Mal, Hulk, and Thanos aren't what's, I guess for lack of a better term, like making the game not want to be played by people. I think it's another issue one way or another. Because it's just characters, and I do think I very much truly think that this game provides you with tools to deal with those characters. Maybe you don't want to play with those tools. Maybe they don't fit with what you're playing, or maybe like you're like, let's just say the tool is to play shield. Like, I don't want to play shield.
Right.
But so like there are tools out there to deal with these themes that are commonly referred to as like these need to change to make the game good again. But then you also get the same people saying that the game's actually in a really good spot. And if we look at it, the game actually is in a really good spot. There's always going to be outliers because it's a game. Like, there's never going to be perfect balance. And if there is perfect balance, isn't that kind of just boring?
I mean, Perfect Balance was one of our first episodes. Like, yeah, like,
yeah.
If you want to play Perfect Balance, like, there's a game called chess, and it's all right.
And it's boring.
I've been playing that for a while.
So real talk.
It's boring.
So I actually rather enjoy chess. I grew up playing chess against my dad, and there was a book called How to Beat Your Dad at Chess, and I studied the shit out of that book because my dad had a deal with me, and he still has this deal with me because I have never done it. If I ever beat my dad in a game of chess, he would buy me a video game, and I have never done it. Never been able to beat him at chess. I've read the study material, the book literally titled How to Beat Your Dad at Chess. I ran a chess club in like my junior high school. We'd go to the library during lunch and play chess because I gotta get games in to like figure out how to beat my dad.
Gotta get your reps to beat your dad.
Never. I've never beaten him to this day, and I don't know why. Like, I'll
good job, Gizzard's dad. Way to hold down that fort.
I will pull something crazy out and be like, I'm gonna try this tactic right here, and then it's like, oh, checkmate. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like,
well, that didn't work.
Where? Re-rack. I've come close though. I've come close, but I've never been able to actually pull through. And I feel like the times I got close, he was just playing with me. He was like, torture me. Oh man.
It's like, I don't really want to buy him a video game, but I also enjoy playing chess with him. So let's see how close I can let him come.
One absolute says my kids never beat me in Mario Kart. You know, that is probably something that I will do with my kids when I have them. Is if you could beat me in Mario Kart, let's go. Beat me in Tekken. Let's go. Where's that Konami code? Let's go. Street Fighter. You want to play an old school classic fighting game? Let's get Street Fighter going. Marvel vs. Capcom. Let's go. Anyways,
well, I think some of it's also like the online discourse that's centered around, you know, AMG and AMG products didn't have anything else to talk about for the longest time. We had MCP and that was it, and now we've got Shatterpoint. Like X-Wing and Legion and everything that came over from FFG kind of came, you know, into that mix, but it didn't really enter the conversation for people who were playing MCP, you know, before that change happened. And now it does kind of feel like, you know, if like we're all watching the sitcom of AMG, then Marvel Crisis Protocol like went off to college and just hasn't been on the show for a little while. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, like, because the sitcom's really focused on other things right now. Like,
yeah. Well, you know. I also think, in all reality, if we look at that, I got something in my eye. If we look at that, then AMG obviously, if it's been like it's just like, hey, here's a release, here's a release, here's a release, and then you have the community saying stuff. Then you have AMG saying release, but stuff, and then oh yeah, here's another release, Cosmic Ghost Rider. You still didn't do nothing about the stuff. Obviously,
yeah.
Maybe
are
AMG,
we on a hunger strike at this point? Like
does AMG like maybe they don't feel it's an issue, and it comes back to like what we were saying a couple minutes ago. Is the game's in a healthy spot. It really is. Like, the crises feel pretty good. The characters for the most part feel pretty good. You're gonna have your outliers. You're always gonna have outliers. Because let's real talk. We knock Thanos, Malekith, and Hulk down a peg. You said it earlier. Who's the next baddie? Strange maybe. Cosmic Ghost Rider's coming out. Maybe he'd be the next oppressive thing. There's always gonna be a piece that is like, this thing is bad for the game, because that's what people do. They look for they
Well,
do.
Let's unpack that. Hold on. Bad for the game. Let's unpack bad for the game, right? Because
Yeah.
that's something that like gets talked about a lot. Like, oh, this is bad for the game. This isn't fun. This is this. This is that. But like, what is bad for the game? My point when we had the last like state of the game episode that we had, my point was it's not fun to play into, right? It's fun to play. It's fun to play with. It's not fun to play against.
Yeah.
And I think that for
Debatable,
me, that's a
debatable.
big one.
For some people, I actually rather playing against Malekith because I think X-Force is really good into Malekith. A fun fact, but like it actually is. Like X-Force is actually pretty good at dealing with Malekith. They're pretty good at dealing with Hulk. They're gonna be pretty good at dealing with the Cosmic Ghost Rider. They're pretty good at dealing with Thanos, which is hilarious to me. Because
Unfortunately, they're also pretty good into everything else, and pretty good's what, like a 50-50, 60-40 Mac?
No,
you know,
and
like you're like it's just
that's the thing is like they're not like exceptionally good at anything.
right. It's not a silver bullet. It's an okay bullet. It's like a greased up bullet. You know, you're like, nah, it's not
But, like,
perfect,
you
but
have
it'll do.
you have tools that are good at taking down the big scary guys.
Yeah.
Which is really funny to me because when you look at the rest of the game, that's where they start to fall apart. So everybody flex X-Force. Let's go.
Well, I mean, a lot of that stuff is. I mean, we've said this before. So this is nothing new coming from us. But I mean, it's not. It's less that these characters are like messing up the game or making the game unplayable or unfun. It's that if you're going to play Marvel Crisis Protocol from a competitive place, you have to bring a certain set of tools. And there are affiliations that are better at that than others, but you have to bring tactics cards or a character here and a character there that are like specific tech for that matchup. And that's what it is.
Again, like we look at, let's just say my X-Force list. It's like I know for a fact I am bringing Bill on demons because he is 100% shoring that matchup for me against anybody.
Yeah.
Like Bill just helps people win demons. You heard it here. Like I strongly think Bill helps people win demons. It's the same reason why a lot of people used to play Ghost Rider on demons is because Ghost Rider just helped you win demons. Now you have a fourth red option.
Voodoo's like the Dr. Dre of
guess
MCP at this point, right? Like it's like what?
Forgot about
Oh, my guns? What'd you think? I sold them all? Like no, I'm still here.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm still immune to incinerate. I also have a size 3 throw.
I also live forever and deny your opponent from even doing anything with objectives. All right, real talk. Why isn't Voodoo the most oppressive model in the game?
He is. I mean,
why,
in all honesty,
why isn't everybody taking?
Why isn't he the most dominant?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Dr. Voodoo comic? Like, not to like knock the guy, but like outside of like what 3 episodes of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, like who is Dr. Voodoo? Where did he come from? You got Strange Academy,
Usually when I paint,
exactly. That's a
usually
Strange
when
Academy
I paint when I paint a character, I will typically like watch like the comics explained, especially for the ones I don't know. And the Dr. Voodoo comics explained is like an hour and a half long, and his story is deep. Like it is.
No, he's got a great story.
Like, he's got a great
I'm just saying,
story.
like for reals though, like when he got released, like nobody knew who he was. If you did, more power to you. Congratulations,
Brother
like,
Daniel.
Good for you. I painted mine in his old like Brother Voodoo garb, so he's brightly colored and having a slightly different look. He's a cool character. He's got a cool story. He's just
so. Are you saying the answer to people for competitive is just play Dr. Voodoo instead of playing Thanos or Hulk?
No, I don't think so. I think that innovation, right? So like, what are our cornerstones? Innovation
is key.
Innovation is key. So like, I mean, maybe Dr. Voodoo's innovative again because people haven't been bringing him. So innovate.
People forgot how he is. I literally said, I was like, Bill came out. We now have a fourth red who's great on demons. Voodoo? Excuse me. I might actually go and get a soundbite of forgot about Dre for this. Oh man, it would get removed from YouTube if I did that.
I think bringing Voodoo's a really just strong piece. He has weaknesses, right? Like I think
I
Logan
think
kind of
but
has his
Bill-
number in a lot of ways.
Bill's a really strong piece and arguably more
Yeah, he is.
survivable than Voodoo. It's just he doesn't interact with the scenarios as much as Voodoo does.
I mean, you can make an argument that he sticks around. Like he's
Yeah.
harder to remove and things like
That's
that. So, like,
my argument.
he interacts with scenario to that extent where it's like, no, he doesn't take your ability to play the game away.
I mean,
But he
okay,
does
so
stand on that point.
no. Voodoo is by far, like in my opinion, Voodoo has the strongest scenario control in the game.
Absolutely.
Because he just says, "Hey, I'm paying power, and I am now like." Granted, it's gonna differ from game to game depending on what scenarios you're playing, but you could have Voodoo impacting a 2 VP swing, or let me see, isn't the most he could do is like a 3 VP swing now because there's no like gamma.
Well, the fact that he's written in a way that he can move Brother Daniel from character to character,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not like he has to like bring it
It
back
could be
to
more
himself
even.
or he has to have it on him, right? Like you can do
Yeah.
ridiculous things where you just like you move and you make some 2-threat like drop their thing and then you run away from them and you make someone else drop their thing and then you pick it up and you're like, hey, it's cool. I just had like 7 power, so
Yeah,
MVP,
it's just like
right?
Voodoo just impacted a 5 VP swing at most.
Yeah, right.
At least, I mean.
Like, fair and balanced. This guy's fine.
A 5 VP swing in a 16 total VP VP game. Yeah.
So I think he's not dominant in the game for 2 reasons. One
Okay.
being that, like people have a soul, by and large. That like we're not like just trying to hurt each other.
I don't know about
Like
that.
Ben, you got my back there? No, but I mean I think that like by and large like people don't want to be seen as winning on the back of X. Right? So like it's like Thanos is the most broken character in the game. Well, I don't want to
Yeah.
play Thanos then because I don't want people to look at me and be like, "Oh, you only won because you played Thanos." Oh, Voodoo's the most busted character in the game. Well, you only won because you brought Voodoo, and that's how I felt the last game that I played Voodoo in. I literally just felt like, wow, like look, I could have played him even better than I did, which is the thing that stood out to me about the Voodoo play from my last game with him. It's like I was in one of those situations where I could have dropped the Brother Daniel onto a 2-threat, made him lose an objective, and then throw that onto a 4-threat and pick up that. Instead, I just dropped it on the 4-threat and picked that up and then ran away, which was Crisis Protocol, like final form Crisis Protocol right there. So people don't want to be seen as just winning on the back of something. And I think the other reason that people don't, right? Maybe it's 3 reasons, right? Because maybe the first reason is that he's not a lot of people's actual favorite character. And people want to push themselves. I think we want to have that innovation. We want to do that thing. We want to win, yes, but like we don't just want to win on the back of something. So I don't know. It's like 2.5, 2.5 reasons why Voodoo isn't just dominant and everywhere.
Ben says
All the same reasons we talked about.
I want to win with my boy Mags. Play Voodoo.
He's good with
Mags.
Voodoo.
Yeah.
Mags Voodoo is a very strong
Pretty
team.
good. Yeah, drop that Malekith. Play Voodoo. You know
Mags
what?
Voodoo
You know
Jugs.
what? Let's spearhead this movement. Bring Voodoo back. Bring Voodoo back.
Why?
Because then people will stop talking about Malekith and Thanos and Hulk. Which,
No, they won't. He'll just get added to the list, and honestly, that's like where it is.
that's fair.
Voodoo Mal and Mags. There you go.
And then play Toad so you can make affiliation. That's a
No
little
Hulk.
related.
Where's the Hulk in that list?
Where's Hulk? I do think it's super interesting though. Is like who else is
Next
an
one.
oppressive rogue? Rogue
For
is
my
great.
Pacific Northwesterners.
Sasquatch.
Little Rogue Brewery.
Oh,
Bat Squatch.
Bat Squatch.
Bat Squatch.
I love Rogue. I actually have a Rogue cup.
Of course you did.
Well,
Sorry, that was to Ben. Playing Voodoo in almost all of his
I
games.
was like,
this
what do
year.
you mean? Voodoo, I played Voodoo almost all my games. So I think it's super interesting though is us just randomly talking brought up something that's not really talked about anymore because everybody focuses on.
Ah, good.
Three.
Good. Hulk is in the list.
So I find it super interesting that there's been this character there all along that is arguably oppressive to the game as well, but nobody's playing him anymore.
Well, I mean the murder topic one is kind of murder these days in
Yeah.
MCP, right? So
so
we,
my question,
we played a game where we were trying to run away.
Yeah.
Then they changed
My-
the crises. And now we just murder
you
each
can't.
other.
So my question though is like, is this like an unexplored space? Has anybody actually tried to not murder?
Run voodoo everywhere? Yes, they have.
Well, no, not just that. it's I mean like what like why? Cause it's like the whole archetype shift. Like we went from scenarios to kill, and we've been at kill for
It's been
over
a while.
a year now. And I'm really curious how come, because like typically it's what's next. Next is typically control. How come control has not outshined the kill?
Well, I think it's because kill is even faster than Sam Wilson can handle these days. Right?
agree.
Like when
I
when
agree.
all your people are just dead, like your Sam Wilson triggers matter so much less.
Okay.
So I
And
think
that
that's
goes back
part of
to-
it. Sam's been the answer. Sam has been the answer to kill for a long time.
I mean, he was at NashCon, the first NashCon. Like that was
And the
answer.
second.
And the second, because people were playing kill, and Sam said no.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
you had the
you
Sam off.
played kill with Sam. So like NashCon 1 was like Sam came in and was like, "Oh, you're playing kill? How about no?" NashCon 2 was like, "Oh, hey,
Sam can kill.
I'm gonna play kill with Sam. Now what? Like checkmate. What are you gonna do now?"
What are you gonna do?
So I guess NashCon 3 is
Sam,
the return of Sam.
the return of Sam, the return of the Sam.
Maybe this is the year I finally play Sam. That'd be the
You know
return
what?
of Sam with
first
Sam
NashCon
at NashCon.
First NashCon, the Phantom Menace. Sam just came out. Episode 2.
Attack of the Clones.
Attack
So
of the
many
Clones.
Sams.
So many Sams. Was it a Sam versus Sam final too for the second NashCon? Or was that just
Yeah.
the
So I
first?
guess Revenge of the Sith. So what? I just go back to Black Order then, right? Which is the plan
Maybe.
anyway. But
Maybe.
we'll see.
NashCon 3 welcomes Mags. Mags is the new apprentice.
We're gonna see about that, Ben.
So
Especially if we're meeting round 1.
I do find it interesting as we talk about how like you got Hulk, Mal, Thanos. We talk about Voodoo. Red Skull's up in that conversation too.
Absolutely.
But who you talked about Strange. Now tell
Oh,
me
that's
why
what? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Do we got a 3? Do we got a 3 that's like Sam? Is it Sam?
Sam.
I guess we don't have a 2 at this point.
I would strongly argue that I think 2s have fallen off the map ever since the introduction of grunts.
I agree. No, we touched on that. I mean, not to toot our own horn, but that's something that we touched on like 6 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah. I don't know,
Somewhere in that
probably more
range?
than
Maybe even longer. I mean, everything's 6 weeks ago for me at this point.
Yeah, that's
I'm a
right.
dad. Right?
One-
So it's
one
like, oh, that was like,
absolute
what, like
says,
2 to 6 weeks ago?
One Absolute says NashCon 3, Cosmic Ghost Rider kills the MCP universe.
You're damn right.
But I do think it's super
All gas,
interesting.
no brakes. NashCon 3, all gas, no brakes.
That's what it is. We're changing franchises now. I do find it super interesting though to like look at this actually aspect of it, and it makes me really curious. Like, is there a way to slow down the time to kill? Because like if you look at it, like it's just too killy. Sam can't even keep up with it. So like, well, how can we as players slow down time to kill? And I know one answer that comes to mind.
Shield?
It's not complaining about it.
Oh, no, it's not complaining about it. Complaining about it is not going to change anything.
Sorry, I had to. I actually think, and I guess this is part of like Shield's plan. I don't think it's Shield as a whole. Like Shield does this. That's why they're so good at the moment. But Dynamo is somebody who
Sure.
can actually slow down time to kill because he is altering your opponent's dice. So like, what do you think would be another option for people to look to? Let's look for a 3 of somebody who's out there that could potentially slow down your opponent's time to kill.
I mean, I've still been playing Lizard. He's still
I was
real
gonna say
good.
Lizard. Damn
Like,
it.
he didn't go anywhere. Like
Yeah.
again, like he's in the same category as Voodoo, like the Dr. Dre category. He did not sell
Yeah.
his guns. He is still very good. Like he's just waiting to come
Because I
roaring back.
guarantee
Like
you,
size
you
3
put-
throw. Like what happens when you daze Lizard is what makes Lizard so strong.
Because all that power all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like what happens now? Well, he like gives slow and bleed to that guy and throws
And
that guy
you're
away.
Probably taking exceptional healing, and boom. Which I think Lizard's a great pick there. I do think another. Let me think of another one. 'Cause you said Lizard. I was gonna say Lizard.
If Lizard has a problem, it's that he is size 3. So that
Yep.
means when he gets thrown into your team, it hurts more.
Yeah, but you're taking
Like-
brace anyways.
Yeah, Luke Cage, he's another one that's like
Luke Cage, yeah.
way up that list.
Cage is awesome.
Okay, so while you're thinking about this, just to completely interrupt your train of thought, like, what about Iron Fist, right? Because like Iron Fist is another one of those characters that's like
Sam.
he's
I
real good.
even when I was playing Midnight Suns, I have never enjoyed playing Iron Fist.
Because
Maybe
you
I'm
just think
playing
he's
him
bad,
wrong.
or
Yeah, I just think he's bad.
well, field dressing was really like where he like
Yeah.
had his opportunity. Like that was his window. Like
But
Danny
I
Rand was
don't-
like, I'm a billionaire. Now I'm back. Like
But I very much, I don't know. I've never enjoyed playing Iron Fist. I've never felt like he was like, even when I played Midnight Suns, I would rather play Voodoo, Strange, Blade, and not even think about Iron Fist.
Well, Matt's here. He once flying kicked my Groot like off the table. I'm pretty sure that he flying kicked my Groot and did 7 damage, and I blocked nothing. And then I think the next turn he like flying kicked him again and did basically the same thing.
That's because Groot just crumbles
Like,
energy.
No, the 4-die physical attack, the flying
thought
kick.
flying kick
He
was
rolled like
energy.
triple crit into like, like it was
Jesus.
like all 4 hits into 3 more hits. And I
fair
rolled no
enough.
blocks.
That sounds like a you problem, not a him problem.
I'm just saying, I think it was like that's one of those moments where like I feel like you would be more inclined to run Iron Fist if you had a moment like that with him.
I don't think so, because I've had moments like that with Deadpool, and I don't play
harsh.
Deadpool.
No, but I've heard you be hype about Deadpool. To be fair,
I have been hype about that. To be fair,
be
if
fair.
I was playing Weapon X right now, I'd be playing Deadpool still. My Weapon X rosters include Deadpool, because I truly think that if you're going to play Deadpool, you should be playing Weapon X, because now he is rolling 5 dice with a reroll, or a 6-die Mystic with a reroll. That's pretty good odds of him
Yeah.
surviving, even with only 4 health.
So why aren't you playing Weapon X? Why aren't you playing
Be-
Deadpool?
I've actually strongly considered like flexing Weapon X into my list, but Hellfire
You have
Club beat
before.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
just-
mean, what's
eh.
the difference maker there? Just to like go down this road a little bit.
So why I chose Hellfire Club over Weapon X?
Mhm. Do you like Emma Frost?
Tactics.
You got a big Emma Frost?
No,
like thing?
it's tactics.
All right.
Because Weapon X, I want to bring Dossier. I want to bring Are You Sure You Want to Remember? I want to bring. I still like.
Does
Call
Hellfire
Back.
make you feel like an innovator when you play
No.
Hellfire?
Not really.
Does Weapon X make you feel like an innovator when you play Weapon X?
Not anymore. I guess when they first came out, it did.
Okay.
But
Fair enough.
But like I very much like when Weapon X first came out, I was like, this is cool. But then I came to the realization that the leadership is literally Cable's shield for only Weapon X people.
There's a fair amount of that, like in this game, where you're just like, oh, but about that, somebody else does it as good or better, differently.
But I mean, arguably, like the leadership is better than Cable because it's free. They're not paying power for it.
That's
And
fair.
You get the tokens back by playing the game. Like or your opponent playing the game rather. But I just like the leadership just felt weird and almost a non-factor in a lot of cases, because I'm gonna spend a token, I'm gonna get +2 dice. The only places it was really a factor was 23 because rerolls.
Yeah.
Deadpool because of rerolls. Domino because of count skulls. Logan and Apex though, like it almost never really mattered for them.
Okay, so let's come at this from a slightly different angle. I love solving meta problems. I like seeing what I like to see how a meta evolves and then bring something into that mix that's like, hey, like this is not being accounted for. So either the meta tech doesn't deal with me or this deals with the meta very well.
Okay,
Like,
so let's look at Weapon
and
X.
optimally both.
What does Weapon X do? They kill, which is arguably the meta right now. Not even arguably, it is the
Sure.
meta right now. So it's like everybody's already breeding tools against it, versus not Weapon X, but X-Force and Hellfire Club. I'm breeding with Hellfire Club. Like the only reason why I'm playing Hellfire Club is to have scenario pressure. Because to me, Hellfire Club, when I'm playing Hellfire Club, I'm leaning more towards the scenario game style with killing. X-Force is the same thing. But Weapon X, I truly feel like is like maybe you're gonna make me have to play a Weapon X again. Maybe there's a line with Weapon X with 23 as the leader all the time. And I have gone down this rabbit hole before, where I first saw Cosmic Ghost Rider, and I was like, "Wow, imagine this guy under a 23 lead X-Force." But then not X-Force, Weapon X, and then I was like, "But then I'm playing Badger and Cosmic Ghost Rider." That kind of.
But if
feels
it's all
bad.
killing, like, does it matter? I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I just
But if
my
you're not
point of
scoring
bringing that
points,
up.
but if you're not scoring points, you're just gonna lose the game before you have a chance to kill
For sure.
everybody.
I mean, Cosmic, as you mentioned, I don't know if it was right at the start or before we started, that like Cosmic Ghost Rider isn't really not playing the game. He's just not personally scoring points early.
Yeah. But I think Cosmic Ghost Rider is really cool though, in the fact that like he's gonna have the power to move 2 to 3, if not more, people a
regularly.
game. Where it's like if you're playing a non-pay to flip, you can very easily, with the mobility Cosmic Ghost Rider has and how big his base is,
Yep.
you could impact if he goes last, a 4 VP swing on your opponent. Like he just does it. Because he's like, I'm gonna move this person off of points. You now are not getting 4 VP. And
They're
there's
pushes,
nothing
right?
you can do about it. Huh?
They're pushes?
I thought they were
Cosmic Ghost
advances.
Riders?
I thought they were
Are they
advances.
advances? I'm asking a question.
No, you're making me look. MC.
My point about bringing up the meta is like, what is a meta, and like, is there a meta? So like, I find it interesting that you're like, it's kill meta, and I don't think you're wrong. I definitely think that that's the
No, you know what it is.
the general approach right now.
I will answer you right now. What it is content creators, and tell me I'm wrong. It really is, because it's that mindset. It's that mindset.
I've said for a while we're the problem.
Yeah, we are. It's very much, hey, listen to me, and then people who, even if they're really good at the game, people say, wow, this podcast said this. Maybe I should consider this line of thought. And then all of a sudden they're doing that.
Yeah. One of Farmer's inspiring monologues on Strike Better from a while back, like, was talking about how there's basically like there's a very small group of people who are actually trying to do something new. And I'm not trying to claim membership there when I'm not like being like bringing this up to be like, yeah, I belong in this group. Because I've definitely stepped on the backs of giants to get anywhere in life, not just in this game.
It's a push.
Okay. So you've got a very small group of people who are like actually trying to develop new things and innovate and make something new happen in this game. And you've got a lot of other people who are just looking for something that works. Just give me something that works. And we talked about transplants from other games coming over to MCP. Like, again, one of the first questions that I always hear from people coming over to MCP is, what's good? Or is this good? Right? Is this character good? Is this affiliation good? What's good? Like those 3 questions. And it's like, well, maybe there isn't a good answer to that in this game. And I'm certainly not going to tell somebody, well, Thanos, Mal, Hulk, Voodoo, Red Skull. just buy those and, you'll be fine. Because I do think that there is a little bit more to this game than that. And even if a straight up unaffiliated squad is like the best, like there's no theme in that. It does not.
It's not fun to
carry the game. Exactly.
It's not fun to play. I've tried it. I have tried. Hey, let's just play unaffiliated
multiple times, and
it's just not fun. Like it might be fun for somebody, but like even when you're playing Dormammu, which is essentially an all unaffiliated list, it's got a theme to it. You're all like servants to Dormammu. Like it's got a theme. Hellfire Club. It's like cool. You got invited to the club. Like there's a theme to it. But it's like
you'll win some games, but you'll also lose some games.
Yeah,
it's not perfect.
That's the game. I am kind of curious now to like look at this Weapon X thought process, and might do a little after dark session here.
I I did it.
I mean, I got him back in the game. Do I play Voodoo?
That was me
with
lighting a
Weapon X?
fire.
Oh. But then I come into the issue like where I'm looking at Weapon X, where I want Cosmic Ghost Rider for Weapon X, and then you're playing Cosmic Ghost Rider for the team format.
Yeah, back off my Cosmic Ghost Rider. Sorry for being so inspiring.
I don't know. I could do Weapon X for the actual tournament itself, but then I don't hold true to my win Nova with X Force.
So you're gonna go like mono X Force, or are you gonna be like
No,
the
it's
Hell Force?
Hell Force. Right now it's Hell Force.
Okay. Well,
But I've gone back and forth on is it Hellfire Club, is it Weapon X? Because I really don't know. I'm still very back and forth on it.
is it winning Nova with X Force if you're running a dual affiliation? Is that good enough? Does that like tick the boxes? Like
For me, it does because
okay,
I'm
cool.
Because like, to be completely honest, my criteria for playing Hellfire Club is 8+ VPs. If there's 8+ VPs on the table, I go Hellfire Club. Or if I'm into something like Convocation or Defenders, which has very high chances of very good mystic attacks, which X Force is not very good against. Because I have Logan and I have 23. That's like half of my killing force, right? So
I mean, you do, but you also have Exceptional and both those characters.
But if
are
I have to burn
amazing.
Exceptional early, then I just lost my get out of jail free card.
I mean, Convocation, sure. Defender seems a little. Like,
Defender's not so
I'd
much,
be
but
less
Convocation
concerned
is very
about
much
that,
in like I'm playing Hellfire Club into Convocation.
Sure.
But that's very much my criteria. So if we look at what scenarios would make it in 8+, it's like less than a quarter of the game currently. Because you got Scoundrels, you got if it's any of the 4 secures with hammers, and then it's but that's very much an X Force
it's
game
true
for
though.
me. And then you have you have Scoundrels 4 with hammers, and then you have spiders and cubes. So it's like that really comes down to, I think I mapped it out where it's like 20-something% of the game. So the chances of me actually playing Hellfire Club were very low because I started noticing I was like, I'm not playing Hellfire Club ever. Do I actually need this? And I was like, they're here for a reason. I'm not gonna take them out.
That's
and
fair.
that it's just that reason doesn't come up because nobody's playing cubes, nobody's playing spiders, nobody's playing Scoundrels, and if they are, it's because they're really, really good at it. But that's the issue with those things is people don't want to bring them because there are teams that are very, very good at it. I'd argue Hellfire Club is really, really good at Scoundrels. So
I feel like a lot of teams are really, really good at Scoundrels.
I agree.
To be
I agree.
fair,
That's fair. To be fair. But I just think that the majority of this, maybe this is where my feelings of there's too much the same across games comes from, is people are all playing Creekcore, people are all playing hammers, people are all playing demons, people are all playing Infinity Formula. Like I just feel like there's like more often than not I sit across from somebody and I look at our crises and it's almost identical.
So, I mean, is that trying to level the playing field? You're basically taking things that do not cede advantage to your opponent, right? So you're trying not to disadvantage yourself no matter what you throw out. You're trying to lean into your skill as a player, right? So it's like, let's make this game as fair as possible. And
But then, yeah, I agree with that. I do think it comes down to people just looking at the rosters and saying, instead of taking something that I'm good at 90% of the time, but that one game I'm going to just immediately lose as soon as it drops, I'm just going to take the most fair scenarios, which is
I don't think that you lose that game, to be fair. I don't think that you actually just lose that game anywhere near as outright as people claim you do. I remember when I played Doug at NashCon last year, I remember as soon as our game ended, he was like, man, all my games have been so grindy. And my games were not. I was purposefully playing a very fast-scoring Asgard list. And he brought the roll for objectives, the extracts.
Yeah,
because that was what they decided as a group was basically the least disadvantageous thing to bring. You're bringing Voodoo, you're maybe bringing Black Hat. I don't remember what the exact list was, but like you had tools to deal with that. So for me, I just wanted to like score as quickly as possible. And when I was in that matchup, it's like, oh, all my games have been grinding. He's like, well, none of mine have been until I ran into you.
Okay, so my question with that then is like, are we as players not taking enough risks? Have we gone too far to the other side where it's safe for our crises?
I think so. I think people leaning into sure things, and I'm guilty of this 100% myself. Like I lean into sure things all the time, and I stress that to people that I'm trying to help explain the game. Like, hey, like if you can find a sure thing, like that's great for you, right? Now you're
I know
not
we're
rolling
sure.
dice.
I know
don't
the
worry about
sure
it.
thing. He's not in our chat right now, but you know,
Oh, he's a great guy.
he's a great guy.
I do. I think that we should probably be taking more risks, but at the same time, like that is now you're opening
Scary.
yourself for inconsistencies, right?
Yes, if you're playing a competitive game, you're trying to remove your inconsistencies.
right, and this is what pushing your consistencies will do for you by and large. You're pushing consistencies mean that like you're gonna win the games that you know are advantaged into, but you're debatably gonna lose the games that you're more disadvantaged into because you've created it a more consistent approach. And so unless you as a player have a real solution for that up your sleeve, that they'll ace up your sleeve or whatever, like maybe it's not that easy. Maybe you can't just like push as much of this. So I mean, one of the other things that I've said quite a few times in this cast is that the harder I lean into attrition, the closer my win-loss gets to 50-50.
Yep.
And I think that that is one of those things where it's like, if we're playing this kill forward version of MCP, and we're bringing the most consistent objectives that we can, well, if kill is advantaged, then those objectives being everywhere isn't going to help you. That's not going to help you unless your approach is kill forward as well. So if you're not a kill forward list, then you need to bring something else. Are you bringing scrolls and hammers?
I am actually.
No, it's part of the problem then.
I am part of the problem for what we're discussing right now. I am part of the problem. I am playing Malekith or Hulk or Thanos, so I'm not part of that problem.
There you go. I mean,
cool, though.
I still like Voodoo. I still like Thanos.
Yeah.
I think that they have an outsized impact on the game. That's why I like them as pieces. You know, whether or not I'm in love with the character of Dr. Voodoo, I don't dislike him, and Thanos is a huge thing for me. Like that's
fair. Well, I think this is
favorite.
gonna wrap up our topic discussion. I think we did pretty good. We started out kind of mopey. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we started out kind of mopey.
We did because we're bitches.
We're bitches, yeah. But I do think we have ended on a pretty good note, a nice thorough discussion. So let's go ahead and jump into some listener questions.
That's right.
From Twisted Isles. I think that's the name. It's for some reason it's.
It is tonight.
Yeah, Twisted Isles. Are interesting formats like gymnastics, permadeath, and champions of champions a good way of breaking the pedestals by reframing the game with different constraints? I mean, of course, I just yes, but the issue with that is going to be where, other than like a local game night, are you going to be able to go and say, "Hey, let's do an event that's permadeath"? Like people are like, no, I want crisis challenges. It's a tournament. We're doing this.
Yeah.
So I do think permadeath is super fun.
It was a blast. I agree with you. I think that we're a small enough community of MCP players that pulling alternate formats in is a really mixed bag of risk reward, because you're going to get people who just don't want to play that game. And honestly, this game of all the games out there gives you on a silver platter alternate game modes to play.
Yeah, but nobody
Ultron,
plays.
Hulk, Juggernaut, Thanos.
I guess people play those. Yeah, I was thinking about
Yeah, I mean,
whatever it's called.
Well, they give you that too, right? There's 3-box challenge, which is still a thing. There are ways to play this game right away that let you do different things than what the big meta boogeyman in the room says. And have them do it, have fun, do it. But good luck. I wish you the best.
Let's see. Nikki, is there any design space for secures or extracts that you think would be interesting to try and explore? I had to come up with some question that didn't have the answer. Just play X Force. Madam Mac responded, one that requires to be X Force affiliated to score. So I gotta go laugh at that. But any design space for secures or extracts that you think would be interesting to try and explore? Honestly, I think this is a question that I don't want to answer right off the top of my head because I'll say something stupid and it won't make any sense. Because that's just how I read it.
If only there was like an extract that was more like a secure and it bounced around the table in like a number pad area.
It's called Researcher.
Kind of like it bounced around on like 9 points of a square of a 3x3 point square. Right?
Oh, you mean Shatterpoint?
This one's. Oh crap! Dang it! Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Oh man, I honestly don't know. To be honest, I'm not. I don't think I'm very good at when it comes to like thinking of, hey, this could be really
That's
cool
fair,
crises, because especially like on the spot. Mostly because I don't know what would be a good crisis in this game other than we need a secure that deals with Mystic defense, because why not?
We don't.
We don't. We really don't. I do though. I do, however.
Plus
I do
5
wish,
energy is bad enough.
I do wish that there were more negative effects from crises, though. I really do. I don't know why.
You say that, but those are so debilitating. Like those can be another one that's like, it's fun to think of and put it on paper, but like when you actually have to go and do that, and now you can't do the things that you want to do in the game.
Let's think about like the crisis rework themselves. Like it's almost like AMG had the same thought, and then after 2 years, 3 years of the game being out there, like, yeah, this didn't work out how we thought it would.
Yeah,
so
there's definitely design space left in MCP.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Nick, I don't know what it is. I'm not on the dev team. I am not on the rules team. I am not a playtester. I don't know what that space is to explore, but yeah, I think there's definitely space. To some extent, it does go back to what we said earlier, which is like a few more things have to get tweaked and changed, in my opinion, for space to actually get opened up.
All right. Big Al. No hard feelings for Hyper Viper. Should eyes on the prize be restricted? It might cut down on bill splashing. I don't really think so. Like, I don't necessarily think that that's the only reason people are bringing Bill. I think that even if eyes on the prize was restricted, Bill would still be seen. And I don't really necessarily think Bill's a problem for the game either. I think Bill's fine. I think he's a great 4 threat. I don't think he's overpowered. I don't think he's undertuned. I think he's like where a 4 threat should be. Eyes on the prize being restricted, though, I think it's a completely different question. If you unrelate that to Bill, I think it's possible because there's other things that eyes on the prize really get hurt by.
It's just more killing.
It's just red skull.
You get rid of eyes on the prize, there's just more killing. You get rid of red.
Eyes on the prize.
It's just
I agree.
More killing.
I think it needs to stay, especially for now, just because of the fact that like it's bringing scenario play for your round 1 plays instead of how much can I kill round 1.
I feel like it's a case for and against it being restricted in that it has so much more of an impact when you have priority versus when you don't.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it should be restricted, at least for now.
I agree. What about what about
in the game.
Do you think exceptional healing should be restricted?
Exceptional healing is a very good card.
It is.
Healing is very strong. Prevention of damage is very strong.
Okay, how about this? I have the #1 fix for all the naysayers of exceptional healing. Make it X-Force affiliated.
No. I don't think that's the answer.
Give me something.
It is one of the last remaining cards that's a generic card. It has requirements, right? Because you have to have healing factor.
Yeah, well, there's so much healing factor that everybody's playing now that it's like you're seeing.
I don't think that's the issue with exceptional healing. I don't think the issue with exceptional healing is that like I have 3 healing factor characters on my team. I think that Logan specifically, X23, like kind of on his heels.
That's a very good point because of the fact nobody complains about Odin's Blessing.
As someone who has mained Asgard, I can attest to that. Absolutely, nobody complains about Odin's. You just play around it
Yeah.
because you can.
Oh, you know what's something real funny though? There's this one 4th threat character named Doctor Voodoo who gets around exceptional healing. He just power burns you.
Oh yeah, the staff of Legba.
Yeah,
It's you gotta roll wilds. Like I've had amazing staffs of Legba where you're like well before anything else happens.
No, I tell you,
you just take 3 damage.
Anytime I've had a voodoo go into one of my exceptional healing characters, he's rolled like 4 or 5 wilds. I'm like, well, fuck me.
This sounds like a you problem. As someone once told me, this sounds like a you problem.
All right, next question from Big Al. Do you think AMG might go down the route of restricting characters? Maybe out of affiliation splashing certain dudes could cost a restricted slot. They did it with objectives. I want to answer first. I don't think they're going to restrict characters because, as Jonas says, it's very against their ethos as a company. And if they were to start saying restricted characters, then I don't know, the last 3.5 to 4 years of them being MCP and them saying certain things is going to completely change people's perspective of them as a company.
I think that maybe in some cases you can look at restricting character cards as a way of approaching that, but I don't think that there's any character cards out there that are really like that. I agree. Just like Mal has 2 very strong cards, but not
I kind of want to re-explore Battle Realms. Kind of.
So I've said that on multiple occasions, and I believe that like the backlash that immediately hits me like every single time is that you're adding a layer of complexity to the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's like already going. So you're taking a game that's already advantaging experience versus inexperience, and you're adding another gear check to that. And then on top of that, there is definitely a buy-in kind of like threshold for Battle Realms that's very different from the main game.
Yeah.
You know what? Hell, F it. I'm in. Let's do it. Let's revitalize Battle Rounds because I've suggested it before. Why would I fight somebody else who wants to do it?
To be completely fair, it's like you look at it and it's like somebody has Malekith and Hulk on their list. Okay, well, my list is good against Malekith, but not Hulk. I'm going to see which one they pick first. So let's say they pick Malekith first. Cool, I'm banning Hulk.
I don't think it's that granular, though, in Battle Realms.
I don't think it is either, but it's the quickest example I can think of.
I'm going to pick your pieces that are bad against the other one. That like, if you're like, oh, I'm good against Malekith and not against Hulk, and you're like, all right, so you banned my Hulks and now I play Malekith. I'm like, well, you only have so many pieces that are good against Malekith in there.
Or they take Malekith and then you start removing their affiliated pieces that are low count that they need because they're taking Malekith. Because there's the metagame right there for Battle Realms, man. You let them take Malekith or Hulk first, and then you just remove their low threats, so that way they cannot.
You ban their Mystique, but then
just ban their leader, so they don't got an affiliation. They don't got no leadership. Like they take Malekith first, just ban fucking Sam.
It's so. Battle Realms is a very difficult format because if the format exists to help prevent some of those like feels bad stuff being on the table, you still get to pick your first character first. And if you take that away, then you get out of that AMG headspace that's like you get to do what you want with the things that you bought. And
not only that, I think being able to pick your first character that you want to play with first feels good for the player because that's one of the biggest arguments about any ban format is they're going to not let me play my favorite character that I am playing this list to play.
But like now we're just going to play like a Mal mirror. Let's play a Mal mirror on like the least opportune set of crises we can muster. Like it doesn't make the game a more enjoyable experience.
I think I honestly I don't think we as players need to revisit Battle Realms. I think AMG needs to revisit Battle Realms.
There we go. There's the space. Open it up.
Because I think there's something there. I just think it needs to be fleshed out better.
Maybe.
Wasn't it completely removed though? Like I don't think I saw it on the website anymore.
Oh, really? I haven't
I
looked
kind
in a
of
while.
want to look right now, actually.
In all honesty. Is it happening? Are we doing it? We're looking. Is it a race?
Oh, are we racing? All right, MCP. Okay, characters. Let's play. Is that what it was under? Crisis event, base, affiliation, hobby night, ban and restricted challenger events. Battle Realms is not on here.
Interesting. Well, you heard it here first.
I mean, I'm sure people have noticed. Actually, probably nobody noticed because nobody cared about Battle Realms. All right. You have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
That was our last last listener question for real.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
That was it.
Game's fun. Have fun with
It's
it.
fun.
Don't. Battle Realm is still there. Battle
Okay.
Realm is still up. It's still a format.
Oh, it is.
That's my closing thought for everyone. It's still on their website.
Okay.
I'm excited for Nova. I'm excited to go and play Marvel Crisis Protocol with friends. I'm excited for NashCon. I'm excited to go and play
ruckus.
Marvel Crisis Protocol with people I get to see once or twice a year.
Are you bringing your Rad Dad sweatband?
Absolutely. In fact, I have a second Rad Dad.
Just in case.
No, well, it's mostly for color coordination because apparently like blue, red, and yellow and orange don't go with everything. So I got one that's like black and purple, and
it's fine.
It's black and purple's fine too. Yeah, it's all good.
All right. With that, we have been the Rogue Agents. Actually, no. We have been the Boomers, and you have been the listeners.
My bootstraps!
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Maximum effort. In this war, there's no surrender. He's out of line, but he's right. Who the hell is Bucky?
You don't like a fair fight.
I think you're wrong. Which part? All of it.
Think you're the only superhero in the world?
Touche.
That was good. We're still live on Twitch.
Cool. Do we just talk about it too much? Is that the real issue? Is it like we just spend too much time talking about the game?
We talk about it so much we don't play enough.
I don't even think it's like
I play
talk to play ratio. I think it's more just like when you have to. It's like the 24-hour news cycle, right? Like you just when you like every week or every other week, you're like, oh, you have to do this. I gotta say something about this game. Like,
I think
what do
that's where it's kind of
it?
nice where we've gone to bi-weekly or every other week instead of
Yeah.
like every single week. But I also think the issue is there's been nothing really.
It's been so quiet.
It's been hard to talk about anything. So then we end up talking about our feelings. But let's look at this though. Is we started talking about no idea what we were talking about, so we started talking about our feelings, which actually led into a worthwhile topic in my opinion.
I think so.
Because
I hope
talking
touched on
about
things that people take away.
we do need to like start like focusing on topics that stray away from talking about state of the game though. I feel like that's all we've talked about the last like 2 months. We need to find some tactics that we can talk about. You wanna
Or bring people on.
Let's bring Ben on. Ben, are you still here? Ben?
We'll make
Ben.
Ben party with us next week.
Let's make Ben
Or
party
next
with
time.
us. I don't know, we'll talk offline. I got an idea.
All right.
Okay. Did you want
Bye.
to build a weapon X list, or are you saying bye?
Oh, just like to people paying attention.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna leave the
they're
Twitch
still
channel while we
paying
build this because
attention.
it's fun. Let's go jump into the Discord because it's easier.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye. Hello. We good?
I'm here.
Okay,
Quiet.
you're here. Okay. Let me pull this up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave the Twitch on just because it's fun.
Okay. I'm gonna fiddle with my airbrush while we do this because it is
Is it
something's
clogged?
wrong with it. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. Call it back. That's what it's called. Crisis Time Password Taco.
Oh, we're going all the way.
Oh yeah.
It's like old.
I was supposed to play Shatterpoint against Coffee for our week game, but he ended up having to. He has to go do stuff, I guess. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to play our game now, which makes me upset.
Oh, well, that was like your league game.
Yeah.
You guys got paired up in the league.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I always get
sorry.
paired up against people that I like
Play
do
all the
stuff
time.
with. Yeah, or play all the time. I don't get the people I don't know. I always get the people I know, have a relationship with, and like.
Right.
What else? Oh, gotta get some air. Because like I look at Weapon X, and like I do feel like Cosmic Ghost Rider would actually fit because you have a way to build the team super wide.
Yeah.
But maybe this is me trying to make a square fit a or a circle fit a, or a square fit a circle hole.
You're polishing the turd.
Yeah. I wouldn't call them a turd. They're fine. What am I missing?
Maybe it's just time to take the whole thing apart.
So I did that with my airbrush recently, and I think I got like paint down in like the air chute.
I think that's what happened, not from that. I just think that's what happened.
Yeah, and it's just a pain in the ass because I think I have to just like get it like soak it in probably acetone and let it dissolve the paint.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We want. There's every now and then where I look at Weapon X where I'm like, do I want to play Weapon X? Because it is basically all the characters I really like, minus Cable. It's X Force minus Cable.
Yeah, it is.
Where are we at? Honey Badger.
So are we adding Weapon X to what you're doing, or are we?
I think my issue is always try to do that. So I think I'd rather start with a Weapon X build and then see if
Okay.
X Force fits. And then compare that to the Hellfire Club list or the Hell Force list.
I feel like this is a thought exercise that you just haven't done in a while.
I think so. I think so too. And I'm probably going to end up with the same conclusion.
Yeah.
Because I have thought about this probably way too much. I think that's everybody. Logan, Apex, Deadpool, Domino, Badger, 23.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay. All right. So, I personally think 23 is a must.
You have to.
Because-
She's probably your leader more often than not, too.
I'd agree with that. Which also makes me say, is Honey Badger a must?
I like them best as a combo. Like, I know
do
that like
too.
she's not the most popular thing, and like she definitely has drawbacks to bringing her. There's an opportunity cost to it, but I like them together. They present a different set of problems together than they do separately.
I agree. I definitely think Domino is probably the best 3-threat non-leader.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just think Deadpool does good with them.
So, what I remember from Weapon X when I was playing Weapon X was that the dossier, it's a very powerful ability, but a lot of teams have a built-in dossier holder.
Well, when everybody's
really
playing
makes
grunts,
it lose
they just
value.
give it to a grunt to make the grunt run to the corner to get bored.
Yep.
But to be fair, if my opponent is playing Shield and they run Fury's grunts to the board, I think I'm okay with that.
I think you're in an okay spot with that one. Yeah.
And I would say the same
with
thing
that.
for Skull's grunts. I think the only one that I would rather
They can't hold it.
Oh, that's
right?
true. Yeah, no, you're right because they can't hold extra X stuff, or they can't hold they can't hold objectives. That's what it is. But Daredevil grunts, which you don't really see very often anymore. I
No,
feel
but
like
his
those
are
will
like the
be
worst ones,
yeah because they can literally run to the corner of the board, vanish,
and you
and
don't
then
care.
yeah,
They don't care about it.
yeah. Um, so it's really just Fury, and then people put it on a 2 threat, which arguably is super down, and people playing
Mhm.
2 threats in the game. So maybe Dossier is actually up in value now than when Weapon X first came out.
Maybe. I wouldn't hold your breath on that, but
I wouldn't
maybe.
either. I'm gonna give it a shot anyways. I do think Logan fits the bill, and
You'd
I
have
think
to. So does Paper
Apex
Two.
does. I don't think Apex does.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because Apex is super power hungry, and he has no ways to get extra power here.
Well, I mean, he felt pretty useless in a lot of the games I played with him because he would always wind up winding up on objectives because his attacks are not consistent.
Yep.
Like Logan's and X-23s are.
Yep.
And debatably Domino and Deadpool's.
Yeah. Like
So,
you look at
yeah.
this, and everybody here, even Honey Badger, has a consistent attack because for some reason
11,
Honey Badger
15?
rolls crits.
So this is 15, right? So
Yes.
you need another 2 threat?
Yes.
Which doesn't feel great, to be honest.
No.
Or maybe there's going to be times where you drop Honey Badger and bring in somebody like a Fury.
I don't hate Fury for this because if the grunts die, you get memory tokens back. Oh no, yeah, if grunts die, you get memory token back, and you can bring Eye.
Mm-hmm.
So
And Eye's good, even as a one-off.
I agree. Let's do this. Let's look at Fury. I feel bad because I really want
You
to
know
play
what else is good
Psylocke.
is Voodoo.
Voodoo. Does Voodoo fit this though?
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with like building yourself towards an X-Force.
I don't think so either. Let's just go ahead and pull Psylocke out now because I know I'm going to put her in here.
Yeah. And you're not running Fury if you're running Psylocke. Like, just be honest with yourself and everyone else.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Now, the real question is, do I want...
What is Deadpool doing for you? I mean, I know that he's got, like, dice consistency and stuff, but, like, once you're no longer just being like, I'm running Weapon X, right? Like, I feel like Deadpool kind of has
He
a
loses
slight
value.
delusion to his value, yeah.
I agree. I think he has a slight delusion to his value in Weapon X even. Like, I think he's cool if it's a control meta, but it's not a control meta.
Yeah, so he's like a silver bullet for
Yeah, so I think
pushes and mystic stuff. Like, it's just not happening. 8,
so
10,
we're at
16.
3, 6, 8, 12. So we need some 3 threats in here. My question is, let's come back to him. So we need a 3 threat. Who would be fun with this that would actually work? What about Lizard? We talked about him.
He's got the healing factor.
He's got healing factor to where this team, basically everybody has healing factor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I also almost feel like I'm going to run into an issue where my team is too not
Okay,
killable.
ready? Scrap this. How do we fit Lizard into your Hellforce roster?
He doesn't fit. He doesn't, unless I take Pyro out, but Pyro's there for a reason.
Okay, so bring up your Hellforce roster. So like you've got all this X-Force stuff over here. Let's just like take a look at the overlap and see like where you're at now versus. All right, so Pyro and Red Skull are like the only things. Pyro, Red Skull, Bill are basically the only things that you wouldn't.
It's also like Emma wouldn't be in this list, so that's a free slot. I think Pyro's good for both X-Force and Weapon X, to be honest.
Sure.
Arguably,
Pyro's
Red
just
Skull
good.
wouldn't be bad for Weapon X because then he's bringing that grunt to get easily killed against a high threat game.
Yeah.
I don't hate Red Skull on this list,
No, Red Skull's super duper good.
and he just makes this list incredibly killy. So if we just
I mean, do you think that does Bill? What is Bill bringing over Voodoo for you?
that's actually a very good question. Oh, he's bringing the extra power and eyes on the prize.
Okay, so, but I mean, you've got Red Skull for that.
Yeah, but you can't play Red Skull at stuff where you play Bill. I've enjoyed having both to be able to be like, cool, this is a Bill eyes, or hey, cool, this is a Red Skull eyes.
Again, I'm just not a big fan of the Bill Eyes play in general.
That's
I
fair.
think that
I
I
mean,
want
maybe-
Bill's tools
maybe
online
it
more than I
is-
want the cheeky extract grab.
Maybe so. Let's just do this because this is easier. What if we do bring in Voodoo, the good doctor,
The Good Doctor.
and then I still have one slot. I think if I'm playing Skull, I don't need Cosmic Ghost.
That's fair.
But I do think Cosmic Ghost Rider just gives you like he does, but he doesn't give you like that scenario play. But I kind of want him at the same time.
I think
Like, why do I want Cosmic Ghost Rider so bad?
I don't know if you're dropping Emma there. Like maybe like Dr. Voodoo's a little too much like mystic attack for you at that point. Like you're just mystic and physical, except for Psylocke and Pyro and
So
Cable.
I have thought
So
about
you're not.
what if I just made this Weapon X, Hellfire Club, and X Force. But then I come across the whole Weapon X cards,
Yeah.
which is
and
why
that's-
I end up at Hellfire Club.
And that I think is the real problem with Weapon X is that the leadership is not great. And the dossier is not great.
Yeah, and then
And
that's
you're not
where
running
that's where I
run.
just come back and I'm like, cool, I've been at the same list for 3 months or 4 months now.
Yeah. I'd swap Bill for Voodoo and see how you feel about that.
So I've done for
'Cause-
Voodoo.
Yeah, because that's
I
just
thought-
more pure scenario play right there.
I've thought about dropping Pyro. I
I'm not
just don't know
gonna do
what he
that.
would be.
Nah, why?
Yeah,
He deals with the big boys like real well.
yeah, he really does.
I just think that like Voodoo's very strong. You're not leaving anything on the table by swapping Bill for Voodoo. You're leaving a size 4 throw on the table, I guess.
Yeah.
Making that swap. If I mean medium size 4 throw is huge. Like the scenario play is just different between